Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to see if we can get this old Athearn locomotive to run. It's pretty bad shape. Looks like it's been in some water maybe. The wheels are kind of crusty looking. Hopefully I can save them. It doesn't run at all right now. The shell looks pretty bad. It's missing the horn. Pretty dirty. So we're going to tear into this and see if we can save it. It's one of the, I got the brass flywheel, so it's worth saving if we can save it. Let's take it apart here. And I haven't even got to look at the inside of it yet. So I don't know. It might be real bad or not. Should have took the coupler off. Well, I just took the coupler off. Yeah, the box is in there. Good. Let's see here. Take the weight off. And the motor looks good. Just a little dirty. All kinds of spider webs and crap on it. So we're going to pull the trucks out. Try to clean those wheels. They look pretty bad. But we'll see what we can do. These Athearns are pretty easy to take apart. I'm sure a lot of you have worked on them before. A lot of people's made videos on how to do them. These little plastic clips on here. Just pry it up and pops right off. And I already took that piece off the top there. So boom. Pulls right up out of there. There's a little plastic thing. You just gotta be careful you don't break them. So, and then pop this top gear out. And that should be about it for the truck. So they're pretty simple. This side don't look too bad. This looks like it's got a lot of cobwebs and dirt in it. So maybe we can polish them wheels up enough where they work good. And same with the rear one. Just go up into here. Underneath the frame, pop it off, flies across the table. I'll get it in a little while. I know where it's at. Pop that out. Turn it to the side, pull it down. You can see the motor don't look too bad at all. So it probably run. Should test it. Alright. Over here at the test track area. Well, I'll help turn it on maybe. Alright. Nothing there. Let's look at to the light. Other direction maybe. Nothing. We ain't getting nothing. Let's see if we can get a short circuit at least. Short circuit. Nothing. That motor's dead. Looks good. I'm surprised it doesn't run. We'll just have to take it out and try it. It might not be getting connections in the bottom down here where it's mounted. Alright, let's see if we can get this motor out. Just push these through. Maybe. Yeah. Been in there for 100 years probably. Dang. Yeah, they broke. They all dried out. All dried out. So I got replacements. Now we can see if we can get them out. Yeah, this thing's hardened to like hard plastic or something. It's supposed to be like a rubber. I use the new styles that have the screw-in style. I've got another pair or two in there, I think. I like to switch out to them. Well, this looks like, I don't know, somebody may have glued them in at one time, looks like. You see a little bit of something in there, it looks like glue. Yeah. That motor looks really good. I'm surprised it doesn't run. Let's take it to the test thing again and try it this way. Alright, sorry about the other noise. It's got my heater running in here. Wow. Not gonna run, don't look like. Huh. I'm gonna have to take it all apart and clean it. Bushings are in there, so it looks like it's complete. So if it's complete, hopefully we can get it cleaned up and running. Alright everybody, I had to pull these strips off and get the bushings out and clean it out, clean the bushings up. And this brass or copper piece here, it was really corroded under there. I had to polish the crap out of it. The bottom one wasn't too bad, but I went and polished it up a bit too. The bushings themselves were pretty dirty. I cleaned those off real good, put them back in. So when you pull these strips off, you got that spring under there, so be careful it don't fly away and you'll lose it on both sides. These just pop on, pop off, pretty simple. You just lift, pull, pry it, and pop it right off real easy. You can do it with your fingernail. But you just gotta make sure you don't lose that spring that's under there. And then the bushing, or whatever that is in there. And I got it all cleaned up really good. Back together. Like I said, the top one is really corroded. I don't know why, especially underneath there where it hits that spring. It was really bad. It took me a good bit to get that cleaned up. So that may have been the problem. So we'll go over here and see what it does. Alright, let's see what this thing does. I got it turned on a little bit here. I'll clamp one to the bottom and then touch that top. Look at that. It's running. Sounds pretty good too. Even throw some sparks in there, old Sparky. The way I like them. So yeah, I think that's okay then. We'll put some oil and stuff on some of them bearings in there and stuff, and that should be good to go. Now we'll see what we can do with them trucks. Now on these trucks, these side frames should pry right off. Just take a little flathead screwdriver and get down in there and slowly pry them. So they're probably in there pretty good with all the corrosion I see. So we'll just take our time here and just work them out nice and slow without hopefully breaking them. That's in there pretty good. There, it's coming out now. I got some rust or something in there. Made it real tight. I don't want to break them because I don't know if I got any extras. That one came off easy. There's a little, mostly cobwebs and dirt. Now these two wheels got some rust and stuff on them, looks like. I may have some extra wheels in there, I don't know. Actually, I probably do. Got a bunch of dummy chassis. So just take your time. There we go. You get that little plastic pin there. You don't want to break it off if you don't have to. You can glue them back on if you have to, but I don't like to do that. Sometimes they're real loose and they just fall off when it's going down the tracks, you know, and I'll usually take some of the Elmer school glue and put a little drop on there and push them back in there. Just enough to hold them in there, and then if you ever need to take them off, it'll come off real easy. So now I got to pop this piece off here. Get my real little flat screwdriver here. Try to get under there. And they don't make these for a guy with big fat fingers, you know. So let's go in the right there. And this thing's so corroded. There we go. I said, just always take your time with these things. That's the main thing, so you don't get aggravated and break something. And so there we go. Got it from the back side there. And then I guess it still don't want to come off. Push it out that way. There we go. Gears and everything look good. Well, they are corrody. I can probably clean those up with the brass. I use a brass wheel on my Dremel a lot. Clean the wheels up, especially these real bad ones. Clean all that up real good and oil it up real good. These brass wheels for these Dremels work great on a lot of stuff, I think. It's what I use a lot to do a lot of my cleaning. Because it won't get into the metal like a metal wheel will. Just polishes them. Usually don't hurt the wheels. So let's see here. So what I'll do is just pull these tire wheels and axles out, and look at these axles, make sure they ain't cracked. Sometimes these old Athearn axles will crack on you. And that one looks good. So hopefully we'll be good. And then take this thing apart. You got, let's see, here's a clip right here. Well, that one's gone. That's what you don't want to do. Gosh dang it. Well, I'll look for it here in a little while. I'm sure it didn't go too far. And then, not bad, just real dirty. All the gears look good, just dirt in there. Don't look like it's ever been oiled before. That oil's all dried up probably. Probably had been sitting for years. Everything turns good, so I'm gonna clean all this. Clean these wheels up real good with that Dremel. And see if we can't get them cleaned up real good and put some oil on them bearings. And see if we can't get that all nice, looking nice and working good. It looks like this one's got the same problem, so let me clean these up real quick and we'll get back. Alright everybody, I got everything cleaned up. All the contacts nice and polished. You can see a couple spots there where it was really corroded. I polished it up. They don't look too bad. It's a little pitted maybe, but it's the insides here that you really worry about. That's what makes contacts with those axle bearings. I had to peel those axle bearings off, polish the axles up a little bit, put some oil in there. I had one that was kind of corroded up. The other ones weren't too bad. And then I got all the wheels nice and polished. I had to do just a real light file on a couple spots where it was really heavy rusted. And make sure you don't when you do that, you don't put a flat spot on your wheel. And then I polished it up really good with that Dremel. So all nice and shiny. So the bearings all look good. Oh, I oiled up the bearings and put them back on, and they all spin freely. And got all the cobwebs and dirt out of my gears. Cleaned those up really good. Getting ready to oil those. And I found the part that flew off, and the other part that flew off was just laying right in front of me. Got lucky on that one. So everything's cleaned up. Now I'll use white lithium grease on the gears and stuff, and then I got my little oil here, which I just use the good old 3-in-1 oil. Yeah, I ain't spending all that money and ordering a bunch of fancy stuff. This is all just oil. Or you can use I know some guys use transmission fluid, but I've used that 3-in-1 forever. I've loved that since I was a little kid. Used it on everything. So never had a problem with it. So now I'll grease up these gears. Now let's put a little bit on my toothpick. Maybe a little less than that. Just give me a little bit. And then just kind of work it around. Don't need too much. So just a little bit. Because once the gears start rolling around, it'll work it in there on its own. So like I say, you don't need it a lot. Yeah, it's starting to work itself in there pretty good now. So let me put this back together. Should be pretty simple. So you got it. Well, we'll just put together right here. These two pieces go together, and then that little clip that flew off earlier goes back here on this section. Hold it together. That looks just like a coupler clip for an Athearn. So if you ever lose one, that little clip, or no, it's like the metal style Athearn coupler clips. That's what it looks like. I don't know if it's the same or not, but it looks pretty close. And dropped it on the floor the second time. Just pops right back on there, real simple. And then got your bottom piece. You gotta put your wheels in first. With the Athearns, it doesn't matter. Both sides are pickup wheels. I'm dropping everything. This dang camera in front of me. I'm not used to working on locomotives with a camera in front of me. So, it pops right down in there. I might put a little touch of grease on that here in a minute. And then the other wheel set. Just gotta line those bearings up to go down them slots. That's all you gotta do. So, turn the one a little bit. Maybe. There we go. Alright. And then I think I'll put a touch of grease on those. Squirt some more out on my little piece of cardboard over here. And then just a little bit right here. So you don't need too much. Just put a little bit down in there. Let's turn it. Well, pop back out. There we go. And then the bottom piece just snaps right back in. There you go. So that's all back together. Wheels and everything turn. Great. So now we got to put this back in the chassis. I need to do some cleaning on that chassis first though. It's got cobwebs and corrosion and all kinds of stuff. So, and then I got the trucks all covers, side trucks all cleaned up. And then there's the top piece. There's a coupler box that goes back on top of there. And then I got to clean up this gear and give it a good oil in and all that. So let me do that. I gotta get the frame all cleaned up. Basically this strip right down here, get that cleaned up real good, get them old motor mounts out real good, get all the cobwebs and dirt and all that good stuff, clean these up a little bit in here maybe. So take this other coupler off because we're going to be going to Katie's, and I think we're going to put LED in that. Take the old headlight out, I'll wire it up to LED. Because I think what I'm going to do, instead of this old Baltimore and Ohio chassis or shell, I've got those ones I got at the train show there about a month ago, the undecorated ones, and I'm going to use this chassis in one of those, I think. So, because those shells are really nice, I'm going to paint them. So, and I'll use this chassis for one of them shells, and then leave the rest of them dummy probably. So let me get this cleaned up. All right, everybody, I got everything cleaned and back together, or the truck's all back together to install. Got the frame all clean, removed the original headlight, but left that mount there because I'm gonna run some wires to it. I'll do some touch-up paint when we get it all done, but and make sure that strip in there is really good and clean. The old truck's clean, greased, back together. So the motor mount, I use these motor mounts right here. I use them whenever I replace about anything. Once in a while, you'll have to trim them just a little bit on some of the motors. But this motor, it slides right in there. Seems to fit good. And then the other one, it's right in there. And then you take these little screws and push that down in there and you screw it in there and it tightens it up. I like these ones a lot better than the push-ins. Some of the motors, some of the older ones, I have to kind of notch them out here and there with the razor knife to get them to fit good and snug because they're a little different. But I use them in all of them. So this one I didn't have to modify, just pushed right in. So, and I think they hold down in there a lot tighter than those push-in ones and stuff. And then if you have to take them back out, they're, you know, you ain't tearing them up. So let's see if we can get this in. We need to clean these contacts up and bend them down a little bit, make sure they get good tight contact. All right, I just cleaned those contacts up real good. And then set it down in this. Should be a certain way it goes. Yeah, should go the other way. And then push them down in there. I cleaned out those holes real good too. They were full of glue. Somebody glued that other motor mount down in there. That's why it didn't come out too easy. See, I don't know if you can see the screw holes there. Big fingers, little screws. There we go. Got it started. They tighten down pretty good. Like I said, sometimes you'll have to modify those a little bit for some of maybe the older ones, the older locomotives. because those motor mounts are made for the newer style locomotives, I think. See, this one screw holds it in there pretty good. So let me go ahead and screw the rest of those in, and then get the trucks mounted back in, and then I'll have to solder the wires, because I'm not going to put that top piece back in, and I want to run the LED too, I think. So let me get this all back together here real quick. That's pretty simple. Yeah, just turn them and put them in. Put your, I still got to oil these little gears up. Put those in, and make sure you don't lose any of the square bearings off the shaft there. Like how this pops off right there. You gotta be careful you don't lose any of those. So let me get this back together. Hey everybody, I pulled that motor back out. I wanted to give it a little extra better connection between this here. So it sits down in there. It goes on that little strip right there. Sometimes it ain't always the best, especially when they're old, been corroded. So I just soldered a little wire to that piece, and then when I set that motor back down in there, I'll solder it to this headlight piece here. It goes to the frame. That way it's got connection down there and also up here to this frame piece. So it should be getting a lot better connection. And then after we put that in, I'll run wires from the top of the trucks, the front truck, the rear truck, wires to the brass piece here, or copper piece strip on top of the motor. I'll solder those on. That way you can do away with that piece here that goes on top, and it don't always touch good and doesn't have good connections, you know. So this just helps ensure that you always got good connections. And then after we get that done, we'll see how it runs, and then we wire the headlight in after we get it running good. Because when you got all them extra wires and you have to take something back apart, it's more work. So we just make sure we get it running really good, and then we'll add the headlight. Alright, gosh, my workbench is a mess, but I got it wired up. Now we'll take it over and see what it does. I got a feeling we're going to need new wheels. I'm going to be cleaned up okay, but still, you know, they were pretty bad. But we'll take it over to the test track and see what it does. I got the wires soldered from the tops of those trucks over to the top of that motor there, and then that one from the headlight bar. Wow, headlight bar moves around a lot. I don't like that. I'm gonna tighten that up. From the headlight bar down to that brass piece on the bottom of the motor, just for a little additional pickup. So I've had problems with those in the past, so they don't pick up too good. And you can clean and clean and clean, and they still just don't pick up too good. So that's one way of taking care of that problem sometimes. So we'll take it to the test track, see what it does. All right, here we go. We'll put it on the test track here, see what it does. Forward, reverse. Doesn't go as fast and forward. Reverse goes pretty quick. So I think I'll change those wheels out. I'll order some, put new wheels in it. That'll probably help it out a bit. Probably just not really good picking up too good, maybe, I don't know. Might just need to run it for a little bit too. So now I'll probably go ahead and install the LED headlight in it, since that's probably the last thing I need to do, and then put the side trucks back on. So alright, I got the LED all wired in. I tested it's working. So we'll put the truck covers back on, side trucks. Got those back on, put Katie's on it. So this thing was really bad shape. Now we'll put the shell on it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this shell back on. I think I cleaned it up a little bit. Installed windows since it didn't have any. So, and cleaned the shell up. I don't have extra horn, so couldn't fix the horn. So we'll just leave it the way it is until I get extra horn. So we'll put it together and then put it on the track and see what it does. Alright, here we go. Get it on there. Let's hook it to that train car. Turn it on. Let's see if the LED light comes on. Yep. Let's do reverse. Light should be off on reverse. Alright. Let's let it run around a couple times. There it is. I didn't think that thing would ever run. Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a video on that Athearn F unit. I just got there a while back and it was pretty corroded and bad shape. I just wanted to see if we could get it running. And as it turned out, it runs pretty good. We got the LED light in it and everything. It turned out nice, I think. And that was in a box of trains I bought a while back. And also got the Baltimore and Ohio Athearn dummy B unit that goes with it. I just need to clean it up and stuff. And then another locomotive that was in that box was this Amtrak Athearn. It's pretty corroded. You can see there the wheels are corroded and everything. It's going to need just as good cleaning as that one did. And hopefully this one will run too. It's a pretty nice looking locomotive, I think. So I didn't think you'd ever get that one running. It is pretty bad shape. Let me know down in the comments what you think of it. Did you think it was going to ever run again? I didn't. I was surprised it's running. And as you see, it's running pretty good. Got the LED light in it and everything. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.